American Maritime Voices was created to help you speak up, show your pride, and when needed, push back. The future of maritime is in your hands, and its story needs to be told. Will you help tell it?
Welcome back to the American Maritime Podcast, powered by Big Whig Podcasts. I'm your host, Jennifer Carpenter, and today we are very excited to have as our guest Maria Conatser. Maria is president of the International Propeller Club and a senior leader at Ingram Barge Company. Maria, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here with you.
Well, it is our pleasure. So let's dive right in with some basics. First of all, can you tell our audience a little bit about what the International Propeller Club is and what it does?
Absolutely. So the Propeller Club began approximately 100 years ago as an informal group of individuals that were meeting to discuss issues of the industry. Today, we are the most diverse maritime networking organization with members from all levels of organizations that are both directly and indirectly associated with maritime. Our goal is to promote, advance, and support the maritime industry and the merchant marine.
Excellent. How do you do that? What are the club's priorities? Interested in learning a little bit more.
Absolutely. So one of our top priorities is growing and strengthening the organization so that we might better promote, advance, and support the industry. We want to facilitate thought and conversation around issues that challenge the maritime community and then work to help resolve them. One very important issue is that of workforce development. It is critical that we attract and retain talented individuals in maritime.
Absolutely. And, your day job with Ingram Barge Company, Ingram is a leader in the inland barge industry. Tell us a little bit about Ingram, and then I would love it if you could share a little bit for our audience about the kinds of career opportunities that are available in the inland barge industry. It's just a slice of the overall maritime industry, but I am always struck by what folks don't know about the opportunities here for people.
I would love to. So Ingram Barge Company and Ingram Marine Group has been a quality marine transporter on America's inland waterways since 1946. Starting out as a family-owned business, which they still are today, we are the largest dry cargo carrier and one of the top chemical carriers on the river. We're committed to being the best at what we do. Also expanding our footprint to offer a full suite of transportation and logistics services to significantly increase the value add for our customers. And we actively support, participate, and advocate for the industry and its mariners. Now, with regards to career opportunities, this is so exciting. I started out in finance, so I was not involved with logistics, didn't know anything about it. But we have the mariner side, then we have shoreside logistics, we have insurance, we have M&R, we have technology where there's going to be some great advances coming, right now and in the future. So there are so many opportunities within the industry. And recently at the Propeller Club, we have started a webinar series on maritime careers to kind of help give students that exposure to what's available out there to maybe help them make a better decision or pick something going forward.
Oh, that is really cool. And I like the fact that you mentioned both shoreside opportunities and vessel opportunities. There's, kind of a shoreside track, and then it's so exciting to see the potential that is there for, a young person out of high school or a person who's left the military, who's able to come on board in our industry and literally, be on a track making six figures within a span of a few years. Great responsibility, great benefits, great career advancement. Anything more you want to say about those on-board opportunities, especially for young people or military veterans?
I just think it's a great opportunity. And I think as an industry, I think that's one thing we struggle with, right? It's reaching those folks and making them aware of the industry. what we have to offer, what a great industry it is. And so I'm really excited for us to be a part of that and trying to make that change and protect the future going forward.
Well, since you said protect the future, that brings me to the Jones Act, because the foundation of the domestic maritime industry is the Jones Act. Talk a little bit about the Jones Act, what it means to Propeller Club members, and the role that it plays as the foundation for what you do.
Yeah, so the Jones Act requires that merchandise transported by water in the U.S. be moved on vessels that are U.S. owned, crewed, and built. And while we are an international organization, 80% of the world's coastlines are covered by laws similar to the Jones Act. So other countries experience this as well. Now, our goal at the Propeller Club is to promote, advance, and support the maritime industry and the merchant marine. And in the U.S., the Jones Act is an important element of this mission because it provides stability to the U.S. maritime industry, helping sustain 650,000 American jobs and $150 billion in annual economic benefit. It advances our national security by helping maintain a vibrant domestic shipbuilding industry and maritime workforce. U.S. shipbuilders supply the military with warships, and our mariners play a key role in transporting military personnel and equipment overseas in times of crisis.
No, absolutely. And so, when Jones Act critics talk about waiving the Jones Act or allowing foreign vessels to participate in the domestic commerce of the United States, what does that mean? What would that look like for a company like Ingram, which is complying with U.S. law, U.S. regulation every day on the water?
Yes, it would have severe implications. So without the Jones Act, foreign ships and mariners would take over critical U.S. economic infrastructure. What if we relied on foreign ships and mariners to deliver supplies to steel mills and then suddenly they stopped these deliveries? We would see a tremendous impact on a variety of industries. And then what also would happen with regards to safety and professional standards? We would see an erosion in that. U.S. flag vessels comply with the world's most stringent safety and credentialing standards. This isn't the case in many countries where standards are extremely low. So this would negatively impact the safety of mariners and operations and significantly increase the risk of a catastrophic financial loss.
Yeah, I think you make several really important points there. I'm interested, as an international organization, your comment about 80% of the world's coastlines being covered by laws similar to the Jones Act. I think it's interesting to note that other transportation industries in the U.S. are also subject to similar laws. You don't fly an Air China flight between Nashville and D.C. Anything more you want to say about the Jones Act and its corollaries in other countries?
I just think sometimes the Jones Act gets a bad rap. Everybody thinks of it as impeding competition, and that's really not what it is. It's about protecting our national security and protecting our waterways and our economy.
Oh, here. Absolutely true. Hey, let's come back to safety for just a minute. As you know, my day job is in the tugboat, towboat, and barge industry too. So we both know a thing or two about the subchapter M and the journey of our industry to voluntarily raise safety standards and sign on to new Coast Guard regulations to protect the people who work on our vessels, to protect the environment, to protect the communities we serve. It is really hard for me to imagine how something like that would have happened if we would have had foreign vessels, foreign mariners in U.S. commerce. Can you talk a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, it definitely would not have happened, for sure. So we are much better for having the Jones Act and working within our own waters with our own U.S. owned crewed and documented ships.
I hope you sign up for American Maritime Voices. It's our ways to be heard on issues that we care about in Washington. I did it, and it was easy.
Becoming a voice allows me to be heard in issues that matter most to me. Don't just sign up, have your friends and colleagues sign up too.
I signed up for American Maritime Voices. It's easy. You can too.
American Maritime Voices keeps me updated on issues in Washington. It's good to know I have a voice too.
I'm proud to work in the U.S. maritime industry, and with Voices, we get our voices heard.
Every month, Marine Log's Listen Up podcast provides quick, insightful commentary on changes taking place within the maritime industry and the opportunities those changes create. In each episode, we sit down with a top executive, leading policy official, or someone on the front line directly engaged with maritime operations, design, or construction. Join us on Spotify, SoundCloud, or at marinelog.com to stay plugged in to today's hottest topics in maritime.
Shift gears a little bit. I know Ingram is very active as a leader, also pushing for investment in our inland waterways infrastructure to make sure that we have the efficient system that we need to keep commerce moving efficiently. Can you talk a little bit about some of the investments that have been made in recent years and how they impact our economy and the supply chain?
Yes. So any and all investments to modernize ports and waterways and bolster our resilience to climate change are crucial as we seek to strengthen and further develop our supply chain. So, we've been focused on expanding capacity at key ports and waterways to allow for larger vessels to be able to come in so we can move more goods. Working on modernizing our ports, both coastal and inland, so that we can bolster our freight network. The need to service intermodal operations requires us to invest in multimodal business sites, and we're seeing that happen. And of course, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers funding. Even the fact sheet from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law referenced the importance of this funding after decades of neglect. So we're seeing that we're going to be spending the construction of new lock chambers to ease congestion. And developing climate change resiliency measures, such as improving flood control from storms and sea level rise, preventing saltwater intrusion and shoreline erosion, and drought mitigation.
Really good points, Maria. I like to think of the Jones Act as the statutory infrastructure for the domestic maritime industry, and then our physical ports and waterways infrastructure, as the physical infrastructure, and we need them both. Ingram is a company on the move. Talk a little bit about how you see the future for Ingram, for the domestic maritime industry. What are you excited about? New opportunities ahead.
Absolutely. So I see an industry that's going to be transformed by digitization and automation, as well as opportunities in new spaces. We have new renewable energy coming on. We've got opportunities here. I know at Ingram, we're seeing a lot of technological advances. Many companies have already started to digitize their manual processes like data entry. But now we're starting to see things like automation and optimization, where systems are integrated, allowing for data-driven decisions to be made in a timely manner. And then next, we're going to actually see business model innovations. We're going to start to see the use of predictive analytics. Right now, with maintenance planning, it's typically based on a fixed schedule or as the need arises. But with predictive analytics, we're going to be able to use equipment monitoring and see what that equipment's telling us. We'll be able to better spend our maintenance dollars and better time them. And we're also going to reduce our unexpected maintenance events.
That is all really exciting stuff, which is only going to improve service for U.S. shippers, improve economic efficiency, improve environmental sustainability. And I do think it's interesting as you talk about the potential of all of those advances. Sometimes Jones Act critics will say, oh, the Jones Act stymies innovation. We can't innovate. I think you've just rebutted that pretty nicely.
And we're also going to see an increased use of virtual reality and augmented reality for training, potentially saving us a tremendous amount of money and even lives. So there's lots of exciting things that we have going on, but this will necessitate some significant changes and challenges for our workforce, right? We're going to need to attract and retain more tech-savvy professionals to the industry. And we are going to need to train our mariners to develop the skills to navigate this changing technological landscape.
What I am hearing from you is a future of opportunity for mariners, for shoreside employees, for companies in the domestic maritime industry, and for all of the businesses that rely on them. That is really cool. Maria, anything else you want to put a finer point on? Anything we didn't have a chance to talk about today that you would like to touch on for our audience?
I'm just excited to be a part of this industry. It is so important and so far-reaching, and most people don't realize it. Most people are sea blind, and I think we need to do a better job about getting the word out about how important our industry is and what we do for our country.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you, Maria, for coming on our show today. Thank you for the work that you do at Ingram and at the International Propeller Club. Looking forward to working with you to take advantage of the opportunities ahead. That is all for this episode of the American Maritime Podcast. I want to thank our audience for tuning in. Please share this show. Please also go to AmericanMaritimeVoices.org and sign up to be a voice in support of this industry that does so much for our nation's economy and security. That's all. Jennifer Carpenter signing off.